Can the average Canadian afford to be average? Wait, how is that even a question? Look, I went into Statistics Canada website and the numbers just don't make any sense. In 2021, the average family household is spending on average $92,500. Are you kidding me? This literally just shows that the average Canadian can't afford to be average, especially when the average household income is like $75,000 pre-tax. How is that possible? Of course, when you dig deeper into this website, there are some expenses most people don't do, like $1,800 per year on tobacco, alcohol, and cannabis. I mean, I guess there are some people out there that might spend $150 a month getting high and smoking. Or look at this, recreation, over $4,000 a year, which I assume would be fees that you pay to do recreational activities like the gym or sports activities or maybe even subscription services, for example, Netflix, Amazon Prime maybe. But to spend over $4,000 a year on that, I'm having a very hard time believing that the average Canadian does that. But then again, I don't like to use averages when we're talking about expenses and incomes, because averages can be deceiving because you have these ultra high net worth individuals that tend to always skew these numbers up. So no, I don't actually believe that the average Canadian household is spending over 90 grand a year on expenses. Because here's the thing, Canadians are earning about 23% less than our US counterparts. And as you know, the cost of living in Canada is damn expensive. Probably just as high if not higher than the US. I'm actually curious if the average Canadian can afford to be average in Canada and how much it costs to be average. Okay, let's do some calculation here, assuming you're a single person living in Canada. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like the numbers. But here we go. Let's say you're a bachelor living alone. You're single and you just moved out and you're looking for a 1-bedroom apartment. Because that's average, right? Because being a single person living in a 1-bedroom apartment, that should be considered average. Is that too much to ask for? I don't think so. Maybe it is for us Canadians though. So for housing, we're looking at a national average of $1,889 per month for a 1-bedroom, and this is the national average. In Vancouver or Toronto for $1,800, you're probably living in the basement with a shared bathroom. I mean, you're already talking about over $20K on rent per year. So what are some of the other fixed expenses? You got your phone, you got your internet bills. It's really no secret that Canadians pay a ton of money for our phone bills. Oh, it's not that bad. Just 30% more than Americans. There's arguments made about lower population density, but the reality is lack of competition. Essentially, 3 companies control our entire wireless network. A simple Google and it seems like the average Canadian is paying about $50 or $60 per month on their phone bills, which to me sounds about right. So we're just gonna assume $55 a month on phone bills. What about internet? According to Google, Canadians are paying on average $95 a month on internet. Now remember, we didn't even include taxes yet for internet and phone bills. For Canadians, well, everybody, another major expense will be food. According to Money Sense, females on average spend about 297 Canadian dollars per month on food, whereas the males spend about $341 per month. Quite honestly, $10 a day on food? Less than what I was expecting. Because I mean, you know how expensive food prices are these days? $5 for asparagus? Oh, damn, when did veggies become so damn expensive? So let's average that out. Assume $320 a month of food. Depending on your landlord, your rent might include hydro and electricity bills. Of course, if you buy your property outright, you'll have to pay for those. But honestly, the average Canadian, who am I kidding? You're not average if you can afford a property in Canada. The electric bills for a 1-bedroom apartment in Canada is about $80. Last but not least, you have transportation costs. Now, the numbers are all over the place for this one, because the cost of owning a car and the cost of taking public transportation is vastly different. As you can imagine, the dollar amount can be anywhere from $150 for public transportation to about $1,000 or even higher for your own car. Wait, $1,000? That's a lot of money. Well, yeah, depending on the car you buy, the fuel efficiency, and how you finance the car. There's other debt costs too, like insurance, maintenance, and depreciation. So $1,000 per month on vehicle expenses sounds about right. Now, if you add them all up, you're talking about a monthly fixed expense of $2,500 to $3,400, depending on if you have a car or not. And that's to live an average lifestyle in Canada as a single person. Now remember, the average Canadian salary for a single person is about $59,000. And that's across all ages. You would assume that the average for young professionals will be less than that. Now again, I don't like to use average because the number is always skewed higher by the ultra rich. See, the median salary is always going to be much lower. And it seems like the median salary is about 20% less than the average salary nationwide. You know what? I don't like it, but let's just use the average salary. Yeah, it's higher, I know. With a $59,000 salary, your take home is gonna be about $3,800 a month after taxes. And remember, this is average salary, not median salary, which was gonna be a lot lower. With $3,800 take home per month, and if you own a car, you're like left with no money to save for the future or buy any other things you want, like the PS5 or something. So can the average Canadian afford to live an average lifestyle? I guess not. I guess the average Canadian is Of course, there's multiple ways to save costs, like living at your parents' house, take public transportation, get a roommate, share a bathroom, and get a cheaper phone plan. I personally use public mobile and I love it. Cheapest phone plan in the country. I made a video about it a couple months back, but here's the thing, by cutting down all your expenses, are you really living an average Canadian lifestyle? I don't think so. Or do we have to redefine what the average lifestyle is in Canada? Because you know, people are so financially, to the point where we have to lower the standards of what an average lifestyle is in Canada. It's actually pretty sad. Anyways, that's it for today. Please remember to hit the like button as well as subscribe to my channel. I make financial tips for Canadians in my long form content and financial comedy in my shorts. Thank you so much and I'll see you next time.